Hey movie fans, welcome back to the final episode of the Nicolas Cage themed 5 Good Things month, and boy, did we save the worst for last. Not only is this in contention, no, this isn't even in contention, this is the worst Nicolas Cage movie of all time. I'm saying this is in contention for one of the worst movies of all time. This is not my second time watching it with you, and it's painful to watch, no matter how many times you see it or who you watch it with. Josh, what is this, train wreck or plane wreck?
This is the newly released film based off of the books Left Behind. This is one of the few bad movies that I've watched, where when it ended, I went,
I miss Kirk Cameron.
I literally feel like I've wasted my life. Like, I watched movie 43, and I was like, at least I saw some funny stuff.
At least stuff happens in movie 43.
Yeah, but like this, you're just like...
It's like 2 hours of boredom.
Oh my gosh. Except for the 5 things that we found. And boy, did we have to pull this out of thin air.
It feels like every other week we have to say, this is the hardest video, this is the hardest video. This is gonna take the cake for quite a long time, because we were left scratching our heads thinking...
I think this was the first time we went, okay, so 5 things.
1, 2, 3.
So besides that, what's the good thing? Was it a good thing that it's over? Yes, but can we put that on the list? No!
Can we say it's better than the originals? No! We can't. But at number 5, as a trend you'll see on this 5, is that one of the characters, surprisingly, this cast is just an odd, eclectic group, is actually the short man from the Pirates of the Caribbean films. In the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, he's known as Marty, and personally one of my favorite characters, and he's in this for some reason, and is actually quite fun.
He's funny. He's your token short man.
Angry little person.
Angry person, and it kind of gets annoying at certain times, but then they do quite a few things with him that are they're gold. You just love him.
Now that I think about it, is he the only character in this movie with an arc? Think about it. He was a grumpy little person at the beginning of the movie, and then he became progressively less grumpy as the movie progressed.
Yeah.
Everyone else could have stayed as a character except for the grumpy. Maybe they missed it. Maybe the grumpy little guy is actually the main character that just didn't get enough screen time.
Oh my god.
He's the one that actually got an arc.
Started on main characters. Ah!
There was a main character in this movie? This movie has Phantom
Menace. Yes, but it was the wrong one.
It's got Phantom Menace syndrome.
Worse.
There's so many main characters. But, yeah, there's some good characters.
He was great. I loved him.
The good characters in this movie, and yes, there are some good characters, are used so sporadically, though. They're yet not used enough in favor of really weak characters, in particular Nicolas Cage's daughter, which we're not even going to bring that up, but she is the main character for some reason. At number 4, we're going to shift away from a character to more or less a specific thing, but it wasn't a consistent thing, unfortunately.
No. It's kind of like what happened with us in The Happening. The camera work as a whole is awful, but there are certain scenes you're like, oh, I liked that scene. That was very well shot, or that was beautiful. And then it goes on, and normally they're only like not even 4 or 5 seconds long. Just boom, beautiful shot, boom, gone to crappy shot. You're like, ah, crap.
Like, it's not... I'll say this, and this could just be because last week's episode was Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance, which is the worst cinematography of all time, and it's the only time I could think of that cinematography single-handedly killed a movie for me.
Yeah.
But this movie, it was never bad cinematography. It was your standard movie fare. But there was be a couple times, one in particular, where it shows a shot of a dog, because dogs apparently just get left behind, because whatever happens during the left behind process... They just don't like dogs, apparently. But it shows a picture of a dog.
I thought all dogs went to heaven.
No, all dogs go to heaven, too.
Oh.
but it shows a picture of a dog,
Great.
and then the very next shot is like this low angle looking at a house, more or less like you're looking at the house from this dog's perspective, and we're like, that's really
that's
clever and outside of the box.
That's
And then it'll be
impressive.
like these nice sweeping shots that clearly they rented out a helicopter for the afternoon, and then once they show the close-ups, it's clearly a green screen. It's like a weird balance of, you had some really good and out-of-the-box shots every once in a while, and then you go back to either par or even subpar camera work, and we're just like, can we get some consistency in any aspect of this movie?
Any scene where they show the outside of the plane is awful.
Oh,
Literally.
wow! It's a PS4 graphic looks better than that, but then again, it's
A
PS4.
PS1 graphic looks better than that.
Yeah, Sega Genesis maybe. Even.
Sega!
Where are you, Sega? But we're gonna go back to characters now because the camera work it just makes me sad.
That was so
A lot of this movie just makes me sad. Hey, you know who we haven't seen in a while that for some reason was in this movie?
Who?
The guy from The Blind Side.
What? I thought Michael Orr disappeared from the face of the planet.
Well, Michael Orr, I believe he's still in the league, but the
I-
guy playing Michael Orr we
Oh,
haven't
yeah,
seen
yeah,
since
yeah.
The Blind Side. And so we paused the movie and we're like, wait, is that him? And sure enough, it's the guy from The Blind Side, and he gets taken, which is good, and not like the Liam Neeson kind of take, but he just gets taken away, which actually is one of my biggest problems with this movie, is if you read the books Left Behind, it's more or less God comes and takes Christians or whoever he finds worthy in his eyes.
The elect.
Yeah, the elect few, and more or less takes them to heaven, and those left behind have to suffer through all these trials and tribulations that are coming. And it's more or less a 12-book Christian series. It's a very Christian-oriented franchise, which is good, but this movie is not a Christian movie whatsoever. Like,
I don't
they
think
mention
they
the
even-
Bible
Yeah.
maybe twice at most, but it's without that element, it's your standard survival flick, except super subpar. Like, Left Behind is just known for being a Christian franchise, both book and movies, with Kirk Cameron starring in it, being very vocal about his faith. But this had no Christian elements to be had in it. Which,
Whatsoever.
what's left? Oh yeah, the guy from The Blind Side. Yay!
Just randomly there.
I mean, I guess. Like we said, this cast is so eclectic and random. Jordan Sparks is in this movie for
Why? And then she has music in the movie.
Who?
Why? Why?
Two Jordan Sparks songs are in this movie. You cannot be in a movie as a supporting character and have your own music. It doesn't work.
There are some
Maybe
Christian
for-
there was some Christian films that would beg to differ with that.
But even then, like, you brought up God's Not Dead with Newsboys.
Mm.
Newsboys already had that song before the movie came out. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I didn't think Newsboys were a character in the film. They're like a cameo role, whereas Jordan Sparks' role
That's fair.
is a
That's
character.
That's fair. Who
Moving
like
on.
apparently doesn't think logically at all, but
Mm.
whatever. This movie.
This movie just hurts us a lot. Moving away from The Blind Side, we got Chad Michael Murray, Mr. One Tree Hill himself. Wow, I feel old for making that reference, but he actually is decent in this movie.
He is.
He knows what these things called emotions are.
He is.
He's
One of
got
the few
range.
people, actually.
Yeah, and it's weird because he's a reporter, basically like their version of CNN, except he gets stopped by everyone. Like, oh, you're that famous news reporter. It's like, is that really how it functions in the real world?
I think what he's supposed to be is this reality's like sort of like Anderson Cooper. So like if he's
Okay.
that kind of character, I can understand.
Okay.
Oh, it's like, hey, you're Anderson Cooper from CNN. Blah, blah, blah. Like I can understand that.
Yeah.
Because, but like they just play it off like it's something normal, and you're
They bring
still
it up for like
confused.
the first 10 minutes,
Yeah.
and then they never bring it up again.
You're just always confused because throughout the whole movie, like, oh yeah, you're that news guy, and you as the audience is like, why do I care?
But he at least tried. Like, he's
great.
I'm gonna be a good actor in this movie. I'm gonna at least try, but not actually. He wasn't the best actor in this movie.
No.
And drum roll, the number one thing about Left Behind, and we talked about it, it's a fitting end for Nicolas Cage month. I'm gonna drag this out because of that. The number one thing about this movie is Nicolas Cage.
What?
Okay.
No! But I thought he was a bad actor!
So this whole month is to commemorate the idea of Nicolas Cage, the overactor, the underactor, the I will do any form of movie. But what you forget is he's an Academy Award winning actor and can act when he wants to.
Holy
And so
cow!
we actually were watching and we're like, he's the best character in this and most compelling
He's
actually.
so well done. You know you're doing your job as an actor and everybody else is not when you just slam it home and then you leave the scene and people go, no, I want to follow him, and it's only the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, we're like, we said something we hadn't heard in a long time. Nicolas Cage, come back.
Like, get back here! I want more!
He genuinely tried. Yes, he's subjugated to basically being in an airplane cockpit for nearly all the movie, but yet he went with it and surprisingly
It's
delivered
amazing.
one of his best performances in a few years.
I would agree.
Okay, that sounds radical, and yes, he's been good in some other movies like Joe recently, which was really a good
Depends on
performance
who
by
you
him.
talk to.
Yeah.
I did not like it, but
But he was good in that movie.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't Left Behind, if it didn't have that asterisk, more people would probably be talking about this role because it was so out of the blue of Nicolas Cage has been synonymous with overacting or bad acting because he's been in so many movies and he's just there for a paycheck. This one, I don't know what it was about this movie, but he seemed to be in it more than any movie I've seen him lately. He really tried hard in this one. Like,
oh yeah.
I want to try in this movie for some reason. Nicolas Cage, I'm appealing to your humanity right now. I'm just trying to get inside the Cage brain right now. But why this movie? Really? You brought it for this.
Here's
why
the
this?
thing.
Just curious.
This is technically, I guess, this movie would be coming off the coattails of Joe, correct? One of his better movies. Because I mean,
This was earlier this year, I think.
Yeah. And so Joe, I think, was
No, this was last year.
Yeah, and Joe came out last year as well, and that was also one of his better performances.
Mm-hmm.
I would think, in my mind, I see him going, you know what? I have found out that I can actually act really well, or I know that I can, and I think it's time for me to start acting really, really well. And so he does it in Joe, and he goes, that felt awesome. I should do that again. And he does it again, and he just decides in every project he's going to act to the best of his ability.
And then he got outcast
and so
with Hayden Christensen.
Yes, and so then he just is in here. He's just in this movie, acting his heart out. And I think also another factor in this is there's a possibility that he honestly is being a mediocre actor in this movie, and everybody else is just that awful.
I don't know. I heard things like in his voice
That's fair.
that seemed like all the other ones that we've watched this month, he's been pretty here. Like in the words of Moriarty, he's just staying. He doesn't have any Nick Cage freakouts in any, well, except Spirit of Vengeance, which was just a massive freakout. But most of the time in more recent movies, he's been pretty monotone and checked out. This one, he had voice inflections. He had genuine emotion. He felt bad for him at certain times. You didn't feel bad for anybody else because you didn't care.
He's the only character when he tells you to shut up in this movie, you're like, yes, sir. Oh my goodness. Like on the plane when everybody's freaking out and he goes, guys, shut up. And you're just like, oh my, yep, I don't want to mess with you. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to.
That's exactly how it's described. His whole performance was he commanded a certain presence that I hadn't seen out of Cage in a long time, and it was nice to see it. Well, it's with a heavy heart and a heavy sigh of relief that we are done with Nicolas Cage month for 5 good things.
Thank goodness.
This has been fun and has been not. I hope you guys enjoyed 5 good things. It's been eye-opening for us.
Yes.
It's been Nicolas Cage Appreciation Month, but it's time to move on. Well, let us know in the comments below if you enjoyed it and what future movies you'd like to see us tackle for 5 good things. Let us know in the comments below. And as always, if you like what you see and want to see more, subscribe to the channel or find me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at 17 Movie Reviews. Stay sharp, movie guys and gals.